And joining me live from Beverly Hills is the real Wolf of Wall Street, the author and former stockbroker Jordan Belfort, and of course inspired the Hollywood movie Wolf of Wall Street. Very warm welcome to you and to the programme. What do you make of all of this?
It's amazing that the average person can now actually get a fair shake since against the hedge funds, because the hedge funds have been beating up the little investor since the beginning of time, pretty much. And while this will be short-lived, and everyone's got to be really, really careful, because it's going to be like catching a falling knife when it unravels. It's shocking and really amazing and gratifying to see a little bit of the pain going on the side of the hedge fund. So that's my overall, personal opinion. As far as, what's causing it and how it started, well, that's a much more complex issue, and I can answer that if you'd like as well.
Well, let's just start with your point about it being quite gratifying. It's interesting you say that. Was there a part of you, given your own background and your own success, that kind of admires this?
Well, and believe it or not, my firm was actually like Reddit. It's just that it's very similar. What happened here is you have lots of people gathering up and buying one stock where there's a very heavy, what's called a short interest, meaning that there was these big hedge funds betting that the stock was going to go down and hopefully even go bankrupt. Now, shorting is a normal, healthy part of the stock market, and it's important. But there are certain types of short sellers that go over the line, and they overshort, they massively short. They will start trying to create investigations for companies, create bad press, hoping to drive down the price of the stock. That is what happened here. So these shorts ganged up on this company, and then the little guy, I can't believe that it actually worked. They were able to muster enough collective buying power to create what's called a short squeeze. Because remember, when you sell something without owning it, which is what shorting is, you got to buy it back. So if you can get enough people to get the stock going up, they have no choice but to buy it back, because they start to lose so much money, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when they start to buy it back, it goes even higher and higher. That's what you're seeing happening right now.
And so I detect from that then you do admire it, just, the intelligence behind it. And I just wonder whether you think this phenomenon is something that we can expect to persist, that it might continue. I mean, we're seeing, haven't we, as a result of lockdown, this increase in people kind of getting involved in day trading, perhaps with no experience or background or really even the funds to risk things. But it's certainly on the increase, isn't it?
I wish I would have thought of it myself. I can't take
I
credit.
knew it.
No, it's an amazing thing that, anyone on Wall Street that really knows Wall Street is like, I can't believe this was possible. It would seem to defy logic at every level, but it was really incredible. It shows the power of social media. It's a testament to also the convergence of technology, allowing even the smallest investor to get real-time access to information and the stock market, and it's leveled the field. Now, the danger is that Wall Street and hedge funds especially are experts at identifying what we call basically inefficiencies in the market. This is an inefficiency in the market right now, and they will look to close that inefficiency very quickly, long before the SEC or any other regulatory body is able to pass laws to try to stop some of this stuff. That Wall Street will close the inefficiencies, and you'll notice that these opportunities become much rarer indeed. But again, I'm on the side of the little guy here, because it's just awesome to see. And I really hope, I would just say, please, if you made money in this, just take enough chips off the table so when it goes bad, at least you didn't lose everything, because it's going to go bad at some point. And I hate to be the ones who are holding the bag.
It's good advice, it has to be said. But I mean, it's interesting you say that. You think that, you're amazed that this was even possible, and you think that the loophole will be tightened up, but too slowly for it to affect the guys here. But essentially, do you think that, in terms of the authorities, the financial market authorities, this is a loose crime that we're talking about?
Okay, so I hate to say it, but you're right. It's illegal what they're doing. Theoretically, you can't collude together to buy stock. Right. So that's really, and that's, by the way, when I said it was like a bit like Stratton, my firm, that's what I was alluding to, that it's so much like what we were doing, except instead of having one firm doing it, it's all these individuals almost acting like a firm together. So I really strongly doubt that any of them will get in trouble. What they would get in trouble if one person was driving it on, got long the stock early, was buying lots of stock and then trying to create this frenzy. That would be something that the government would certainly go after. But on the other side, there's also some really questionable behavior on the part of these trading platforms that are shutting down trading in this. Now, I understand that they have massive risk as well. So there is that side where Robinhood, stands to lose a fortune if the stock collapses and there are losses in their clients' accounts. But the way they did it, to shut trading down like that at a moment's notice, they could have just as easily done what's called raising the margin requirement, meaning they make it very expensive to buy stock. And that could have accomplished pretty much the same thing. So why did they suspend trading like that? And I wonder, there are these relationships between Robinhood and the hedge funds who are losing money. So that needs to be investigated as well. And all I can tell you is this: I'd hate to be the owner of Robinhood, because I can't see how they survive this, because everybody and their grandma is going to sue Robinhood and another platform saying, you shut down trading, you artificially caused me to lose money. Whether they made money or lost money, Robinhood will be in so many lawsuits, class action suits, that I really does not bode well for their future.
I mean, it's just impossible to overstate the significance of this, just based on what you're telling me here. And I just wonder, whether, on a broader scale, if we're actually looking at, almost on the edge of a sort of stock market bubble here, that we could be in a sort of difficult position in the months to come.
You're hitting all the right points here, that's for sure. So, yes, I mean, this is 1999 all over again. And that's why I said I'm begging everybody to please be careful here. I had someone fixing a TV in my house yesterday, and the guy says, "Oh, my mother called me. She's 82, and she was asking me about GameStop." I'm like, "There you go." And that's how it really gets bad, because when that last group of people start getting in, typically they call it the odd lot theory. That when the average person gets in, that's the time it's going to actually crash. But again, you never know when that moment's going to come. It's going to come, of course, because things will eventually seek their fundamental value. But I would urge, again, I just keep saying it because, it's a wonderful opportunity for people to make money. Everyone's bored and locked up. But just be careful and make sure that whatever you invest in these type of hot stocks, make sure you invest only what you can afford to lose. And if you happen to make money, pull the original investment out and play with the house's money. That's my advice to everybody.
And just lastly, I'm assuming you didn't get involved in this yourself, that you aren't kicking yourself, that you had a bit of cash.
I did. I'm kicking myself that I didn't, because it was pretty obvious. And when I saw it, you really hit an important point. Like, is there a crime going on? Theoretically, you're not allowed to do this. I figure if I did it, I'd be the one they go after. So I said, maybe I should just stay. I'm better off staying. Like, everyone else will do it and not get in trouble. I'll get in trouble. So I figured it's probably best for me to avoid these type of situations. But I would love, I think it's really important that the people who are doing this at least learn about the actual stock market, because it's really great that you should be financially literate. The info's out there. Be careful and make money. That's my advice.
And whilst you're being so honest and urging us all to make money, just finally, because I can't let you go, you're being such an interesting guest. Any tips on how we can do that as someone who is actually financially illiterate?
Yes. So number one, there are a few things I could tell you without giving you any particular stock. Number one, at this point, I would say GameStop is over. In other words, the ride is gone. So you're at that point now. Remember, ultimately what's going to happen is that all of these stocks that are involved in short squeezes, they'll eventually trade as a basket. They'll go up and down together at any one time, because there's only so much hot money that can flow into these stocks. So they go up, they go down almost in tandem after a while. The key is, number one, is if you really want to do this and you want to, stay on these message boards, you can try to really find out what the next one that they're talking about is and get in right early towards the beginning. So there's an old saying on Wall Street: bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. You don't want to catch the bottom, and you don't want to catch the top. Try to get it at the beginning of the end, and at the end of the beginning, and get out at the beginning of the end. Don't try to top ticket. Don't try to bottom ticket. Try to get that little middle, and don't be greedy. It's I know, even if you're not a greedy person, it's this weird human nature that develops, that we see this easy money, and we all want to believe in Santa Claus, so we stay in longer than we should, versus saying, you know what, I did really well, I should just be happy. Let me use this money and buy something for myself, my family, give some to a charity, whatever. Don't just try to keep making this. You're still going to have a real living and go to work and make money. Don't try to do this as something that's going to replace your job, because it's not going to last forever. But it's a wonderful way to keep busy now and make some good money as long as you're careful. That's one way I would really do it, is just don't be greedy and try to get in at the beginning, not at the end.
OK, as soon as there's a bandwagon, you're not onto a good thing. Really good advice. I'm trying to write all of this down. Jordan Belfort, real pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much. The original Wolf of Wall Street.
My pleasure. Take care.